So today we have a very interesting situation all the way around. We are seeing an enhanced threat of all places in New York, and that's going to spread into Massachusetts and some of those other states up there in the Northeast. The problem is with this, it's not a tornadic enhanced threat. We do have a 5% chance, which is more than 2, but it's not really looking like that's our biggest threat up there. Our biggest threat up there is going to be really squall lines and damaging winds, hail, all that stuff. And we're going to do a briefing on all 3 of these locations that we're going to talk about here. So we do have that marginal threat that does spread all the way down from up in the Northeast, and it does go down and connect into Texas. And that is our second area of I'm going to call most dangerous area. And that's because it is such a big area that these big storms are going to refire in. We also have a third area up in Nebraska, Colorado, and parts of Kansas. And so that's where our slights are at. We also have one over the Ohio Valley, and that's going to produce through a midday storm that is going to produce a squall line that's going to head through. That's going to be the third squall line in the Ohio Valley within this 1 week. So it is going to be a big time system that is going to be affecting 3 parts of the country. And so that's why we are doing a briefing on that. So temperatures today are going to be very nice. We see them across almost the entire country in the 60s or higher range. You see them up in the 70s, 80s, and even 90s in some locations. And so it's going to be very nice. Problem is with that, we are going to see daytime convection out of this then, pretty much out of all storms. So of all the storms that are currently in the Midwest, they're going to strengthen by the time they get to the parts of Ohio and Pennsylvania. And that's going to give us our severe threat once it travels up to New York. And then down in the South, we are seeing there's kind of a ridge of hot air that is built up over parts of Oklahoma and Texas, and that's going to give us kind of a dry line formation, allowing for these big time storms to develop, and that's why we have a slight threat there. And then on the other side, where that cool and hot air meet, is where we're getting that threat for parts of Colorado, Nebraska, and Kansas. So that's why these temperatures are great that we're seeing all of them. It's just that they're kind of happening in a way that they're all stacking up to severe weather. And so it is May, definitely. You could tell that through definitely A, the temperatures are going up and down, and B, we see these huge storms firing almost every day of the week. So what you've all been waiting for, this is our really composite reflectivity. We are using the NAM CONUS for this because I do like how it represents squall lines, and it does show basically what all is going to be happening today. So we see, first looking up into the Midwest, we see all this energy in the morning hour as it travels really east-northeast, and it's going to build right about mid-afternoon, so that 2 to 5 o'clock time, probably 3 o'clock, is where we're going to see the development of a squall line that is centered over parts of New York, and then it will tail down into another one into Ohio, and then we're going to see another one way down in parts of Oklahoma. And so that's how that's affecting that. But keep looking at the Northeast. We see this massive system get built through New York and traveling into Massachusetts. And so that's where our severe threat is for there. Huge wind gusts. And we'll look at that in our briefing. So check that out, because we are going to talk about wind speeds and what to expect and potential hail damage and everything. So looking and centering back to Texas now. As this energy goes throughout the day, we are seeing a squall line that is traveling to the south that will break apart, but supercell convection that will occur in the Texas Panhandle will allow multiple cells to form and then join into a big cell system that will eventually turn into a squall line that is a part of a massive system. So that is our threat there. So these areas are all super severe today, and we will talk about specifically what to expect in these 2 areas in our briefing, so make sure you check that out. Be safe today, and remember to be weather ready.